My name is Simisola Adigun. To the returning subscriber, thank you and welcome. And if this is your first time of watching this video, my video, please click subscribe, like, share, comment. Thank you. God bless you. And today I'll be talking about the practical steps, the things that I did and I'm still doing to maintain a good relationship with my mother-in-law. We are having a wonderful time, myself and my mother-in-law, and I'll just be sharing with you from my own little experience the things I've done and I'm still doing. Number one, you need to ask questions about your husband or husband-to-be's upbringing. I did that when we were courting, and I got something that really helped me. While we were courting, we were to go to Asaba. He's from Asaba in Delta State. I'm from Ondo Town in Ondo State. So we were to go and see his people and get to know them. So we're traveling that day to Asaba. And on the way, I started asking him questions again. I just told him, I said, please tell me more about your dad, though the dad is late. I said, tell me more about your dad, about mommy and the family. So he said something that really shook me. The thing touched me. He said, my father died when I was 1 year old during the war. He said the father, the mother, the sibling, they were running, trying to escape from the soldiers that were shooting. And in the course of trying to run, the father was shot and he died. And of course, you know the pains of the mom now moving with the children. The father has dropped dead and they have to leave him and still keep running. And they were running with other families, extended families. And somewhere along the line, the mother's brother was also shot dead. It was a great pain for Mama to lose two men at the same time in her life. And after the war, life goes on, they have to settle down, and then she had to start training her children single-handedly as a single mother with the support and help of families here and there. So that thing really touched me that day. I was like, wow, Mama have gone through a lot. I just can't imagine that kind of pain she must have gone through, raising these children all alone. God, thank you for helping her. I'm sure it's been God all the way. So it wasn't easy with her raising them, and they all went to school, primary, secondary, higher institution. All the children went to school. Thank God they are all doing fine. So I told myself, she's gone through enough pains and I can never allow her to go through any more pains. So I made up my mind, I'm going to give her all the support, I'm going to love her, I'm not going to allow her to go through pains. So when you understand the background of your mother-in-law, it will really help you. Of course, you know that as human, there might be a time that she will just sit down, she might be with you, she might be with some people, and she will just be thinking of some of the things she's gone through, the pains, and you know, we all do that. At times we will just be going through something, and we'll, even when we have gone through the thing, the pain will still be lingering. So that is why you need to understand where your mother-in-law is coming from, the background, how she managed to raise the children. So for a woman that have gone through all of that and raised these children, and now they are men, they are women in their own class, please, you need to give her rest. You need to give her peace. And that is the decision I took, that I'm going to allow my mother-in-law to enjoy life. And I've been doing that, God helping me. Mama, I want to salute you. My mother-in-law is still alive. She's over 80. She's doing fine. I love you and I will forever love you. She's such a wonderful woman. God bless you, ma. That's number one. Getting to know your husband's background. It will help you to also know how to relate with your mother-in-law. That's number one. Number two, you also need to study her. On your own, you need to study her. You need to understand the kind of person she is. I did that. From the first day I met her in her restaurant. She was running a restaurant then many years ago. It's little over 24 years now. Okay, it's even almost 26, 27, 28 years ago when my husband first took me to meet her. Yeah, so she was in a restaurant. I met her. We talked. She welcomed me. She received me. And after that, I visited her severally. And in all of my visits, I kept watching. I kept looking. I kept seeing what she's doing and the kind of person. I tried to study her. And somewhere along the line, I discovered that Mama is a disciplinarian. And immediately I saw that, I accepted her the way she is. I told you earlier that she lived with me and my mom, my late mom, also lived with me. The two of them lived with me together. I'll just cite one instance. I remember very well while my children were growing up in those days, my son, 3, 4, 5 years old, then when he goes into my mom's room and he's doing something that is naughty or not too good, the next thing you will hear my mom, it will be in my mom's room. The next thing you will hear my mom shouting. She will be speaking Yoruba, she'll be shouting, Simisola, wa wo mo ewu, ma no, wa pe omo e ma no. That means my son is being naughty or is doing something that my mom does not like, and my mom is telling me, calling me, shouting, calling me, Simisola, come and see your son. I will beat him. When I hear that, I've heard that several times, I'll just be laughing. I don't always mind her. Whatever you want to do, you are free to do. But when he enters my mother-in-law's room and is behaving naughty or is doing something that my mother-in-law does not like, we call her Nate. That's my mother-in-law, we call her Nate. If my son or my daughter is doing something my mother-in-law does not like, you will not hear her shouting and calling me. If you ever hear her talking, she will just speak straight to them. Either my son or my daughter, you just hear her say, you want me to beat you? You better stop that now. And that child knows that Mama is going to beat him or her. So the person will just behave himself or behave herself, because they know that my mother-in-law will not just be shouting and say, I will beat you. If she pick the cane, it will land on your back or on your bum bum. So just behave yourself. She's a disciplinarian and I love her. I love that. I love my mom too. My mom too have a way of disciplining children, but she just make it look somehow when she starts shouting and calling you. But my mother-in-law will not call anybody, and I give her free hand. For crying out loud, she trained my husband single-handedly as a single mother, trained my husband's sibling from cradle to higher institution. So she should be able to train my children, even though she is strict. Please, since she didn't kill my husband, she cannot kill my children, because my children are her grandchildren. So she cannot kill them. So I allow her. I give her free hand. She's free to discipline them. She's free to correct them anytime, any day. And that's how it should be. Don't feel, Mama is too strict. She's always shouting. She shouts. Why did she beat my son? No. She trained your husband. And your husband is no more a teenager. Your husband is not a small boy. He's a man that you are married to. Mama will also train your own children. Please allow her. allow her, study her, understand her, know the kind of person she is, and that is number 2. And number 3, you need to know how to resolve issues with her. You need to know how to resolve issues with her. You need to understand there could be a challenge, there could be what will I call it, misunderstanding. Her opinion might be different from your own. You need to sit down with her and resolve it peacefully, amicably with her. She's your mother. She's your mother. She has the right to her own opinion. I told you earlier, I'm from Asaba. Thank you. I'm from Ondo Town. She's from Asaba. So we are coming from 2 different backgrounds and all of that. So I have my way of sitting down with her when there are issues. We settle it amicably. I'll just cite one instance. I remember when I gave birth to my son, that's the first child. When I gave birth, I was in the hospital. She came home before I came back home. So I met her. She was so happy. That's her first grandson. She already had a granddaughter. That's her first grandson. She came. I met her. She received me. It was joy, joy, joy everywhere. And that week, I gave back on a Saturday. I was still in the hospital on Sunday. I can't remember, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday thereabout. I was discharged and I came back home. As soon as I got back home, settling down, I started planning how I'll go to church with my baby on Sunday. That's just 1 week, roughly 1 week. And Mama gets to know and she was like, "What are you planning for?" I said, "Ne," we call her Ne. I said, "Ne, I'm going to church on Sunday with my baby." And she was like, "No, Simi, the baby is young. The baby is tender. Your baby is not strong enough. It's because this is your first child. That's why you don't know. You can't go out with him. You have to wait for months for the baby to be very strong." So I smiled. Of course, I know also that in the Yoruba setting where I come from, I always hear that people stay at home for 40 days. At times they will say it's 30 days. When you just deliver, you will stay at home before you start going out. But for me, I don't believe in that. I can't sit down at home on a Sunday nursing baby. So I now explained to Mama. I sat down with her. I explained to her. I said, "Nick, you know what? The following week, that same week, that Sunday that I'm going to church, that same week, I'll be taking your grandson to the hospital for immunization." She said, yes, that's good. Yeah, you have to go and take the immunization. No problem. I said, apart from that, in like 2 or 3 weeks' time, my first cousin is doing something and I would like to be there. I think it's his birthday, either 50th or 60th birthday. I can't remember now. I said, I will be taking my baby out, going for that occasion. So she was like, okay. I said, "And Mama, if you were not to be around here, if I'm alone at home with this beautiful baby, 3 days old, 4 days old, 5 days old, and I need to go to market to buy things and I don't have anybody with me, I hope you know I will have to carry this baby and go out to the market. I can't lock him inside." She said, yes, I know you will have to, but I'm just saying that you can't start going to church now. I said, "Nick, you need to understand that if I can carry this baby out for immunization to go and see the doctor or the nurse and take the immunization, and I will take the baby out to go for birthday. I will also have to take the baby out if there is need to go to market to quickly buy things and come back home. Then there is no reason why I should not be able to take the baby to church to go and meet his creator. The person, the God that gave me the son, needs to see the baby. And that is even the best place to take the child to. The giver of the baby So she didn't have any option than to agree with me, and she didn't really understand the level where I'm coming from, but she just agreed, and she was like, okay, see me, if you want to take the baby to church, then church have started. I've resumed church. So you need to explain things to your mother-in-law. You need to sit her down. You need to make your points clear in a loving manner. You reason with her and let her understand why you're doing what you want to do or what you are doing. And of course, you also need to listen to her too. There are times she might be correct, you might be wrong. I gave an example in the other video. So please try to resolve issues when they come up in a very peaceful way. God bless you. That's number 3. And the last one, number 4, it is called love. You need to decide to love her. I resolved to love my mother-in-law. And I also mentioned it in my last video that I told God that I wanted a mother-in-law who will be a witch. And that if she happens to be a witch, I will finish her with love. I was determined, as in I've planned that. My mother-in-law, I must love you and love you to a fault. And I love her. And I'm still loving her. I will forever love her. It's a decision I took. I decided I was going to love my mother-in-law. It doesn't mean that I've not heard so many stories about mother-in-laws. I've had stories. I've seen mother-in-law, daughter-in-law issues, problems. But despite that, I decided I'm going to love my mother-in-law. And I believe strongly it's a decision you can take. If there have been challenges between you and your mother-in-law, please quickly resolve it and get on well with her. That mama does not need any stress. That mama does not need to go through any other pain again. Every mother-in-law have gone through some things. Some of those things are bad, some are very bad, and some are good. But please, don't let them start replaying the bad ones and start thinking you are adding to their problem. Please give your mother-in-law peace. And in case you are not married, I'll just advise you again, like I did last week, get books on mother-in-laws and how to relate with them, and even how to relate with people generally, how to maintain a good relationship with people. There are so many books. Please get it. Choose to love her. And the Bible said something. The Bible said, love covereth multitude of sins. That is love for you. So if you love her, you will just forgive her easily. Yeah, she can always step on your toes, but you learn to forgive, because you also will surely step on her toes and she will forgive you. So please learn to forgive, learn to love her. If I just choose to love her, even if, for example, you have seen your own mother and your grandmother, that's your father's mother, who is your mother's mother-in-law, you've seen them quarrel or you didn't like their relationship, that does not mean you will not have a good relationship with your own mother-in-law. You choose it. You choose to have a good relationship. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please remember to click the subscribe button and also like, comment, share. And I'll be meeting with you again next week, Saturday. Thanks and love you. Bye.